how to create all kinds of amazing colourful designs from a very basic single image. How to do that in Photoshop. Let's just go over here and I've got a fresh document. I've got a gradient. That's all I'm going to be using. So gradient, just go to the gradient tool and just apply it. Now in this case, I'm using it with purple and yellow. You could of course use any colour combination. Also I'm using radial. Again, you don't have to use that, but it's just a nice one to use, and normal. So with that dot, single dot, go to the libraries panel. And then down the bottom, you can see a plus. Now the libraries panel you can find in the window menu. So click the plus, extract from image. Now that might be different to text, but it should be the first item. If you haven't got that, then you can't do this. It should be here in the latest versions. So extract from image. Takes a few seconds to process, and it probably won't get the great design straight away. Never does. What you can do, you can move this around. This triangle. But you can also go up here, and you've got here pattern. Go for the fourth one, and I think that's the best one. And then just resize that, move it around, and you can change the scale. So you can move that. I'm just going to go with that one. I think that looks really nice. Nice honeycomb effect. So I'm going to save that to my library. Now I can always save other ones. I just create another one very quickly. I think, you know what? That looks great as well. Whole range of different designs. Save to CC Library. You can just save all of them. Once you're happy, close. So you've got that design. Now what you can do is you can go to another document, or use this one of course. And in this case, let's just go to layer and flatten image. Now, when you go over here, you got this bit, capture pattern, and you can see the patterns here. Now at this point, I don't know the size because it's just in the library. It hasn't stored it to pattern presets. And it saves it to the patterns here. Only if you go right click over this design. So I'm just going to select this one. And it says create pattern preset. That's what you need to do. Then it creates it and puts it in the patterns presets. So now what you can see, you've ended up with this design here. This one here, there it is. Well, now you can use it. You can just simply drag it back into the document. But this one, just hover over here and you can see it comes up and says 2,660 by 1,536. Now I'm going to write that down because I'm not going to remember it. But you hover over it, and I suspect that maybe unless you can remember it, you think, oh, you know what, 5 seconds later, what was that? So just hover over again, and it comes up 2,660. Now you might get a nice figure first time around that it's like 2,000 by 2,000. I've had that, and like this document. But now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create that document. So File and New, and then just create it. So just 2,660 and now 1,536. Not, maybe I should remember those numbers, but I didn't. So create that. Now what you can do is you can drag this over. And when you drag this over, this pattern is still now a seamless tile. Now it would be really nice in the patterns if you could just extract it straight away to a file. That option's not available. It's a pity, but it's not. But what it does mean, now you've got this, you can now resize it. So you can turn around and say, patterns, just go there, this one, and you can go to the layers, and you can see your pattern there, double click. And you can turn around and say, well, I don't want it to be 100, I can want it 25. And it's still seamless. As long as you don't move it, don't shift it or anything, otherwise you will break, that's it. But now at this point, if I save this as a pattern as well, it will be stored away as a seamless tile. So click OK, and I can go to layer, and I can go flatten image. So I'm just flattening it. I don't want it as a pattern anymore, but I could obviously use it later. But I've got this design. I can still go to edit and define pattern. Click OK. But what I can also do is that I can select part of it. Also, I can use various effects. And I'm just going to use one. And then you can use many variations with it. So like the twirl effect and many others, as long as you don't break the seams. So you don't apply the effect so it just distorts around the edge. So filter, and you go down to distort and twirl. And you can see the result there. You can just change the angle, click OK, and this will still not be distorting the edges. This effect, you can turn around and say, well, let's go for it. Edit and define pattern. Click OK. Do exact same as before. Now you've got pattern preset. It's over here. Luckily it's highlighted still, which is very nice. Now I can simply drag it over. It is now a pattern layer. So pattern layer, you can see that in the layers panel. You can double click on that. So you can turn around and say, oh, I want that 25. And you can see the design. So you can see it's a lovely pattern that's seamless. Not the world's greatest seamless design, I have to say, because you can see obviously repeat tiles, but it's no sort of lines in it. Click OK. And then you can manipulate that further. Again, do exactly the same. Go to layer and flatten image. And you can go to filter and maybe again twirl. Go to distort and twirl. Or maybe go full wave. And you can distort that as well. So number of generators, I always go for 1. I always wish that was the default. It defaults to 5. And then you can just modify this. And you can see as you move that. Also wrap around. Just change the wavelength. Change the amplitude there. Tweak that. And sign, click OK. And then you've got another design that you can continue to manipulate. Create a variety of different designs. Like this. Or designs like this. Whole range of different designs, all created from that very basic dot. I say, once you've got that, just manipulate it further. Just apply multiple other effects. You can always apply wave again, create another effect, and so on to distort it in many different ways. Hope you found this of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Always great to hear from you. Thank you much.